Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Ask Me Anything stream. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, hey. Okay, so I'm Rosemary, Nonny, RNK for short, and I am the Prosperity Minister. I support you in leaving behind the pain of the past and rising victorious in your true design life. Okay, I believe there's a true design life for every single person that is fulfilling, that is free, that is financially abundant, that is a love-drenched life. I believe it's our divine right to live an adventurous adventure of a life. If we would just let go of some of the stuff that holds us back, which is why we leave behind the pain of the past. Okay, step one, if you decide that you're going to work with me, is to join the Abundance Library. You can message me the word abundance to find out more about that. In the meantime, we're going to start by singing our affirmation. Today we're talking about I'm 25, not happy with life, unmotivated. How can you help me? How can you help me to be happy and motivated? But we're going to start by singing the affirmation. Everything is working out for my good. I am loved. Here we go. Everything is working out for my good. Share, guys. Share with other people so that they come and join us right now. And in the meantime, say hello. Say hello. Tell me where you're streaming from. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know you. Here we go. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. I am loved. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. I am loved. I am loved. Woo! We're loved, man. We're loved. Unconditional. I was speaking to someone this morning and reminding them about unconditional love. It is actually quite amazing to find out how sometimes, particularly religious people, when I start talking about unconditional love, they react badly to it. They talk about it, but when I say really, literally, it is unconditional, they don't get that. They don't get that. But I want you to get that, because when you are coming from that connection with the divine, you'll suddenly realize that nothing is out of reach. That actually, as I was saying to this person, the divine is your source. You don't need anything out there. You choose it, but you don't need it. When you really know that, you can show up in the world a heck of a lot more courageously, because, hey, it's cool, man. Say hello as you come on board. Share it with other people. Let's go. So, 25, unmotivated, unhappy. What can we do about this? When I was 25, I probably was like that too, man. I think it was when I was about 20. When did I graduate? I think 22, 21, something like that. That I really realized, is this it? Is this literally my life now for the rest of my life? I just become a pharmacist. I remember sitting on the couch and thinking, is this it? Is this it? Is this all my life is now to be about for the rest of my freaking life? But then I just kind of, oh well, it's the adult life. Let's just get on with it. Let's find ourselves a good job. Let's just start doing that, which is what most adults do, right? Well, we're adults now. What are we going to do about it? How can you be happy if you're in the wrong life for you? Let's just be honest about this. How can you be happy if you're in the wrong life for you? If I could go back in time to my 25-year-old self, I would say, Rosemary, for fuck's sake, stop doing the stuff that is making you unhappy, and start doing the stuff that would make you happy. I knew then what I wanted to really do with my life. I knew that I wanted to do what I'm doing right now. I knew it then. I just didn't think it was possible. I thought it was irresponsible. I thought it would be stupid. I thought it's just impossible. You can't do such things. You're a pharmacist. You have to be a pharmacist for the rest of your life. Just get on with it. You can do all this fun stuff at church or in the evenings, weekends, that kind of a thing. Help people at the week. I mean, my job was about helping people, but not in a way that I really wanted to. I didn't want to send people out with bags of drugs. Oh my gosh, when I knew that it wasn't. Anyway, let's not even talk about drugs, because that's a whole bugbear of my own right there. But the things I sometimes had to do as a pharmacist, they didn't align with my values at all. And I'd filled my life with activities that were keeping me bound up fact, I think at the point at 25, I was just about getting to the place where my husband and I finally walked out of a particular church that we'd been a member of, where I'd felt so diminished for being a female with big ideas. Because it was like, you're female, you're not supposed to do that, you're supposed to defer to the men all the time. And so I literally filled my whole life with things that kept me small, that made me feel bad. And then I wondered why I wasn't happy. I still remember having to wake up first thing in the morning, and the only way I could big myself up enough to get through the day was to start thinking about my gratitudes. What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? Because I'd wake up with this deep, deep sadness. I call it low-level sadness, low-level depression, because I wouldn't have said I was depressed, but there was low-level depression going on with me. And I just thought, oh, well, it's just normal. And some of y'all, that's what you're doing to yourself as well. You're telling yourself it's normal. If I could go back in time, I would have started doing everything that I'm doing now then, sooner. I would have just quit university. But I didn't have the courage to do it. And I'm not even suggesting anybody do that right now. But I am asking you this. How do you think you can be happy if your whole life is full of things you don't want to do? When you hit about 25, most people are going to go through what is called a quarter life crisis, where you suddenly look at your life and think, oh my gosh, is this it? Especially if you've built your life on what other people have told you is success. Some of y'all are 35, 45, 55, and you're going through that crisis right now. 65, 75, you're going through that crisis right now, except the older you get, the more you tell yourself, I have no choice. I have to stay doing this now for the rest of my life. How can you be happy? I know that happiness stems from within. Absolutely, I agree. But if you are deliberately, daily, whether you're thinking about it or not, putting yourself in a position which you hate every single day, how can you freaking be happy? How can you be happy? How can you be happy? How can you be motivated? Of course you're not going to be. So it takes courage to do what I'm about to say. But you know what? First and foremost, you need to figure out your relationship with the divine. Not a religious one. This is a pragmatic connection with the divine. Some of y'all are going to switch off at this point, or tell yourself, oh, because you've been attending church or whatever for all your life, that, oh no, I have that down. I know how to do that. Or you're going to say, oh, I'm too wise for thinking about such silly little things. Honey, you are divinity in a human form. Absolutely you are. And so you're powerful for sure. But right now, you cannot see the vastness of what is available to you. It is only in connection with something bigger than yourself that sees the whole wood for the truth, that sees the whole wood. So whereas you can only see what is right in front of you, it's in connection with that thing that sees everything that you can then start to realize that you're not as limited as what your eyes are telling you right now. When you connect to that source, you start to realize that you have access to incredible wisdom beyond what you have experienced to date. So this isn't some kind of wishy-washy, oh, let's pray a little bit and then everything will be fine type thing. No! This is a strong, solid connection that is required in order for you, and I will say this every day probably, that is required for you to really truly step into your fullness, step into your power. So that's number one. Number two thing is this: you need to figure out what you actually really truly want to do. What would bring you joy? Stop settling for what is just enough. Stop settling for, well, this person told me that this would make me money, so let me just try it out and see. Okay, yes, try out things. If you're not really sure what you particularly want, try things out. But the moment you realize, this is draining my energy, this is making me feel yuck, you need to figure out a way out of that situation. You cannot fill your life with all the things you don't want to do and somehow expect to find happiness that way. It's just crazy, but we do it. It's crazy, but we do it. Well, I'm saying to you, I'm inviting you to find a different way. It is crazy to think that you can somehow live a good life by doing all the things you hate to do. So your true design, you need to distill out what that looks like in your relationships. What kind of people do you want to hang around? In your health, what kind of things do you want to use to nourish your body? How do you want to exercise? Do you even want to exercise? Starting to actually get aware of your body and what feels good, what doesn't feel good in your physical form, what you put in your mouth, what feels good. So yeah, it might feel good for a second on your tongue. I say this because I love my chocolate so much. I love chocolate so much. But anyway, well, it may feel good in your mouth, but does it feel good when it's inside of your body? You know, you start to be aware of yourself. You start to be aware of your physical body and start to figure out what feels good to me. It's like when I lost like 15 kilograms, it's because I got a lot more aware of my system. Doesn't mean I'm perfect at all. As I said, I love sugar. Oh, I love sugar. And I know it's probably not the healthiest for me, but I don't even judge myself for that anymore, you know, because that doesn't help either. So you're better off loving the sugar as you're eating it than hating yourself for eating sugar. So, but anyway, so you get to know your physical form and start figuring out what works for me, what doesn't work for me. That's part of your true design. You start looking at the work that you're doing. As human beings, yeah, we may say that we're beings, not doings. You still do a lot, okay? And a lot of us like to do stuff. If you found the thing you really like to do, it wouldn't even feel like you're working. It's like, I do this because I love to do it. This is part of my true design at this time. Now, it may change in next year or tomorrow. It might change in 5 years' time. Who knows? For today, I love this work. I love communicating with you guys in this way. I love writing. I love it. And so I'm filling my life with things that I love to do. I love hanging out with my girls, my princesses, and home educating. There's parts of home educating I don't like, so I'll find somebody to help me with that side of things. Because always I'm tweaking my life to become more and more of just things that I want to do and discarding the stuff that I don't want to do. I used to think that that was selfish or childish to think that you could have a life where you actually literally like all of it. It is stupid to think that you have to have a life where you don't like your life. That is stupid. That is not responsible. It is stupid. Okay? I'll tell you that right now. It is stupid. And when you think about it properly, you realize it's stupid. Who told you that you have to have a life full of stuff that you don't want to be doing? Seriously, and why are you listening to them? I don't care where you're based, because some of y'all are going to start using the excuse of, oh, you know, I'm in this country and I'm in that country. You can still create a life that you absolutely enjoy. Build that foundation of connection with Source and start living from that connection with Source, because then you start to build a life that absolutely fits your true design. And when it comes to money, yeah, what would you like to be able to do with your money? You want to get to the place where you're free and creating money to do anything you want to do, travel, do whatever you want to do, you know, whatever. There's nothing that is too mercenary or nothing too material that, oh, spiritual people like me are not supposed to think about. Please. It's just all things. If you want it, decide that you're going to create the money to create it and create it. That's it. But this is you figuring out your true design. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Figure out your true design. What brings you great joy? Do more of it. What does not bring you joy? Get rid of it. You may have to transition out of it gently, but that's fine. But don't just sit there telling yourself, oh, I'm too old to change now. Or I don't have the money to do it now. Oh, I don't have no choice. It's easy for you because you live in the UK, Rosemary. Nonsense of a nonsense of a nonsense of a nonsense. Stop making excuses to stay stuck in a life you do not love. Okay? So that's number 2. Distill out your true design. And it might be part of a journey where you're literally starting to take things out of your life little by little that you don't like and adding things on that you do like. There needs to be a sense of joy through everything that you do every day. How else are you going to be happy for real? I'm sorry. I know, yeah, you can cultivate happiness from the inside, but if your whole life is full of stuff you don't want, how can you? Come on now. How can you be motivated to do stuff you don't want, that you don't want to do? How can you motivate yourself to do stuff you don't want to do? It doesn't make any sense. Why do we force ourselves to do this? I know our parents tell us, friends tell us, everybody else is doing it, so you think it's the only way. It's not. Stop doing that to yourself. Love yourself enough to figure out who you really want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have. And then demand that stuff from life. Decide, this is it. This is how I'm going to form my life. Start now, 25. It's a great age. You probably don't have any responsibilities yet. Right now is the time to start claiming, you know what? I am going to build a life that I absolutely adore. I don't like what I'm living right now, so I love myself enough to find a way forward that suits me. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is you're going to have to form some new habits. Some of y'all, your habits are based on a life you really don't like, and they just keep you there. Look at what you're doing every day. That's the habitual stuff, the habitual way of thinking, the habitual way of talking, the habitual way of being with certain people who drag you down. The habits or the lack of habits you have in your life are keeping you trapped in a life you do or do not want. You do not want. So you want to be happy, change some of them habits. Immerse yourself in new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new things that you're doing every single day. Find new habits. Get to know yourself. What feels good, and then do it consistently. Consistently. Start living from within. Start living from the vision you have for your life. Not living from what is happening out there. What is happening out there is already passing away. Now you need to start creating the new, not based on what is already there, but what you have created within you, because you've taken the time to distill out, what do I want to do with my life? Who am I? What feels good to me? I'm going to do more of that stuff and less of anything else. The choice is yours. You want to be happy and motivated? Start doing more of who you are. Start being yourself. Start rediscovering yourself. By the time you get to 25, that quarter life crisis, it's because you have taken on too many people's ideas of what life should look like. So this wonderful lady mentioned that she's even doing a business, but is that business just something you think that's just going to make you money? Are you doing it just for money? If you're doing it just for money, it's not going to motivate you. It's not going to make you happy. Okay? But if you're doing it because you know this feels good for me to do, and then, yeah, I demand that it makes me money, okay, now we're talking. Okay? There's a difference. There's a difference, okay? There's a difference between, oh, well, someone said it's going to make me money, so I better just do that to make me money, as opposed to, no, this is what I want to do. This thing, I'm going to figure out how it's going to make me money because it is making me money. There's a difference. Money cannot be your master. I can't say this enough to you guys enough. It was my master for way too long. And most people's masters, though they would never admit it. But the only reason why most people do most of the things they do is for money or love. Okay? Money or love. And none of those things should master you. Basically, at least definitely not conditional love, that's for sure. Anyway, so that's my suggestions there for being happy and motivated. For one, stop trying to force yourself to live a life you don't want to live. Connect to the divine. Distill out what your true design is that will bring you great joy to live in every area of your life, and then form new habits around that. You will find that you will become happier. You will be more motivated to build a life that you actually enjoy. Okay, hey Evelyn, how you doing? Lovely to have you here, my love. You'll be happier in a life that you actually enjoy. And please don't give me the excuses of, oh, you just don't know my situation. Honey, nobody knows anybody's situation. You have no idea the trials and tribulations I may have gone through or did go through in order to be here sitting with you. But enough with the stories. Do you want to live an amazing life or not? If you do, then no story is good enough to keep you down. I'm glad it's inspiring you, honey. Leonce? I'm not sure. But you know, no story can be enough for your prosperity. Come on. Give up the stories. Give up the stories. Give up the victimhood. Give up the, oh, I'm so this and that. Enough. I know. Most of us have gone through whatever, all kinds of drama. And I don't diminish that, but enough. At some point, we just have to decide, you know what? Enough. I'm tired of telling the same story. I want more. And I'm now demanding it of life. I'm demanding it of myself. I'm moving forward. Okay? Okay, that's my bit for today. So, guys, I want your questions. Whether it's about relationships, whether it's about health, whether it's about money, whether it's about your work. I want questions. I want real life situations. Tell me in my messages. So it's private, and then I'll just do a video like this. Or whatever, or tell me there's a post somewhere on the page that says, ask me anything. I want your questions. So ask me questions. Share this with someone else, okay, so other people can listen to this stuff. I call all this stuff that I spout is a part of the Deliberate Millionaire pathway. So I invite you to join me on this path, this Deliberate Millionaire path, where we live life deliberately. We leave behind the pain of the past. We rise victorious in our true design life. Start by joining the Abundance Library. All of y'all that keep asking me to mentor you and all of that stuff, join the Abundance Library. That is where mentoring begins, okay? You start there and then we go from there. Now, let's finish by singing the affirmation. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. I am loved, and again, everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. Everything is working out for my good. I am loved. I am loved. Woohoo! And Leonce says, no story can. What is that? Please come again. I'm taking notes. I don't remember what I said. Something along the lines of no story can take the place of your prosperity. I think it's something along those lines I said. As in, give up the story so that you can prosper. Ultimately is what I'm saying. Give up your story so that you can prosper. Because sometimes people telling their stories, you start identifying way too much with the sad story that you forget that, what's the point? What's the point? We want to give up that story so that we can replace it with the things we actually want in our lives, okay? So no story can, I don't know, fill it in however you like. I don't remember what I said, but ultimately that's what I meant, which is give up the sad story so that you can prosper, okay? Give up the sad story so you can prosper. I don't diminish anyone's pain. I don't want to do that. Our stories, our childhoods, all of that stuff that has happened to us, for sure, it has taken its toll on us, which is why I say I work with you to leave behind the pain of the past and to rise victorious in your true design, because that story is not your true design. It is not your identity. It is just something that happened, and you can transcend it. You can overcome it. You can become more. So don't let the story get in the way of your prosperity. Okay? Okay, my loves, share this with someone else. Please share this with someone else. I want as many people in the world to reach this. I have a target in my mind, a mission. Project 334K, 334,000 people worldwide, leaving behind the pain of the past, rising victorious in their true design life. And it all starts in the Abundance Library. Message me the word abundance if you want to find out about that. Until the next time, my loves, from my heart to yours, go forth and prosper. Much amazing love. Tag somebody in, share it. Bye.